AI, in my view, is no longer an IT conversation. It's an enterprise transformation conversation. And at Dreamforce, we saw the promise of AI as an equalizer, helping people make better decisions, move faster, find new meaning with their work. I think that's what reshapes the future of business when technology becomes the bridge between efficiency and empathy.
Hi, I'm Daniel Hong. I'm a VP of Market Strategy and Global Head of Analyst Relations at TP. So for TP, I'm an industry and trend watcher, identifying white spaces, and also had the privilege of conveying our story and ideas to industry analysts and thought leaders.
Awesome. Nice to be here, Daniel. My name is Akash. I am the Chief Digital Officer at TP. I take care of multiple teams within TP. One of them is data services that we'll talk more about, as well as trust and safety. Really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, speaking of which, Akash, I'm super happy that I'm able to talk to you about Dreamforce. One of the key takeaways that I got throughout, all the sessions that I've attended, and for the first, I think this is my 15th Dreamforce that I've been to, but I was able to sit in on a lot of the user sessions to see what types of tools and what types of projects that the Salesforce users and customers are actually working on when it comes to Agentic AI. So that was pretty cool. One of the key takeaways for me was if you're leading transformation, the question is, are your AI investments making just your work cheaper, or is it actually creating foundational value for your workforce over the long term? And I think that that's the critical aha moment that companies need to get. And like data is at the heart of that. So like throughout Dreamforce, when you double click into the agentic enterprise, which is so nicely coined by Mark Benioff and team, it's really about Salesforce's transformation. It's not a pivot. They've been doing this a long time. I mean, at the end of the day, they are a data company. They are a CRM company at heart. And the transformation is data first and analytics anchored. So AI is a visible layer, but data integration, the trust frameworks, and performance analytics are the actual enablers. So that's kind of my summing up of what I saw with Agentic Enterprise as it relates specific to one of the core pillars, which is data, which is why it's awesome to be talking to you about Dreamforce. Any thoughts from you, Akash?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my thoughts and my takeaways from Dreamforce, right? For me, the most powerful takeaway from Dreamforce wasn't like a single demo or announcement, but I saw a clear shift in narrative. So we move past the fascination with automation into what Salesforce calls the agentic enterprise, right? That's what you just mentioned, which is organizations where AI doesn't just assist, it collaborates, be it in reasoning, adapting, and orchestrating outcomes across teams and systems. What resonated deeply was how AI is evolving from an operational level to a cultural one. So it's forcing leaders to rethink how they structure teams, define trust, and measure impact. AI, in my view, is no longer an IT conversation. It's an enterprise transformation conversation. And at Dreamforce, we saw the promise of AI as an equalizer, helping people make better decisions, move faster, find new meaning with their work. I think that's what reshapes the future of business when technology becomes the bridge between efficiency and empathy. Another thing that I want to mention on the agentic enterprise piece is, that you just asked, Daniel, is I think we need to move from pilot to full agentic models where organizations must shift from project mindset to a product mindset. So what does that mean? That means that stop treating AI as a series of experiments and start building it as a part of your operating system, infuse this into every workflow, data pipeline, and team process. But the cultural shift is even bigger. Leaders need to build trust in the data, in the AI system and among the people who work with them. So, in my view, success next year will depend on creating multidisciplinary teams where data scientists, ethicists, and operators co-design AI process together.
Yeah. I love how you bring it all together. Remember, I don't know if you sat in on Benioff and Sundar's session. Maybe, yeah. So there was like Sundar had kind of spotlighted Google's massive investments in their AI data centers and their sovereign cloud infrastructure, and I believe he called it like the real fuel of agentic systems. And you know, in that conversation with Benioff, they both kind of agreed, hey, let's don't start your conversations with customers of let's build AI. You have to first identify the high value processes, simplify, standardize them, and then apply the technology. In a lot of our customers, kind of perspectives is start with the use cases, right? And that's not like a novel concept. It's pretty well known now, as you mentioned, but it's particularly relevant for, as you said, and for TP clients because it signals that the analytics and the agentic shift is much about process redesign and change management as it is about models and compute. So, like, I love how you had said, we want to kind of go next year into an applied like use of AI. So being agentic AI ready isn't really about just a one-time technology upgrade, but that holistic transformation of people, processes, and culture. So I guess a question then for you, Akash, is with TP.ai Fab, how does kind of the data analytics go into that to be part of that larger holistic transformation that we provide to our clients?
Yeah, I think so. There are four things that I'll talk about under our TP.ai Fab framework, which ties really well into how Dreamforce was. I think Dreamforce was one where I was super excited to hear what's happening. But I think the conversations is absolutely maturing, is what I'm seeing. What we've learned and how we are putting it across with our TP.ai fab framework to work with different clients and different industries is that there is different level of AI maturity that is there, different according to the industry segments. What we are helping clients going forward now and going forward is moving from experimentation to orchestration. Those involve four things in my view, right? One is agentification of workflows. So the notion of that agentic enterprise is no longer a mere aspiration. I think at Dreamforce, Salesforce introduced Agentforce 360, a platform explicitly designed to embed AI agents into functions from sales to service to IT to human resources. I think in the next year, companies will move from isolated automations, which are like your erstwhile chatbots, RPA, to full blown agent orchestration, that is agents coordinating across systems, data flows, and human teams. And that is where TP.ai Fab framework comes into play in helping that creation of that end-to-end flow. The second thing is context plus data as foundational. Again, Dreamforce emphasized that who wins with AI won't simply be the one with the smartest models. It'll be the one with rich, trusted, context aware data. As I said earlier, we share a similar vision. Like that's why our conversations with clients for 2026 are about preparing a data architecture, removing the silos within their systems, ensuring data accessibility and lineage, enabling real-time context for agents to act meaningfully. Third is human agents, collaboration, and trust. A recurring theme, both at Dreamforce and in our operations within TP, we've seen is AI agents are not replacements, they are collaborators. In 2026, organizations will need to focus on designing workflows where humans intervene at the right moments and where agents are transparent, explainable, and governed so that employees trust interacting with them. And then the last thing I'll say is we are helping clients move from pilots to scale and operating model shift. So many organizations are still in pilot mode. And again, depending upon the maturity and how they're thinking about it, we are looking at that change. However, the speed of innovation is far exceeding the speed of customer adoption, as Benioff had mentioned in his speech. Our mindset for 2026 is to work with clients to transition from proof of concept mindset to building embedded operating models. And that's how we are embedding our TP.ai Fab framework into their processes.
Mm. It's great perspective, Akash. I don't know if you got a chance to go to the Agent Force Labs. I was in one of the Moscone, I think Moscone West on the second floor, and you really got to do some hands-on stuff and sit down with kind of the power user, so to speak. And it was pretty cool. I was able to sit on a Tableau session, and I was just wondering. It was pretty cool. They have it's essentially like they're showing an analytics to action model and helping visualize the data, but it's not just about visualizing. It's about triggering the workflows and the agents based on the insights. Um, Extrapolating that into our world of data visualization and taking that and acting on it, like how does TP align with kind of the entire movement behind let's not just visualize the data, let's take action on it? Any thoughts that you can share?
I didn't see the demo there, but I did see a different demo. And again, this was something that Salesforce, one of the teams of Salesforce presented. What I saw was from their GBS teams at Salesforce, how they are visualizing the agentic enterprise, right? And that really stuck me. What they shared with me was there are these various systems, legacy systems, new systems, all working in tandem, but the data that is getting generated is possibly not talking to each other. They are not categorically defined properly. Some of the data is in warehouse, some of the data is in the cloud, and so on and so forth. So there are like these different challenges that exist. And what really helped me understand is how they're thinking about implementing agentic enterprise, even if it is getting implemented in silos, but then having multiple agents coming together and collaborating with each other to get the work accomplished. And that is where I think we were also thinking exactly on the same lines at TP.ai Fab, where you know there is not just one agentic solution that will solve all the enterprise problems. How do we collaborate and integrate the different systems along with ensuring that the data is accurate and clean, ensuring that intelligence can be taken out of that data, and then implementing all of those agentic solutions along with human in the loop, so that we have that iterative process going on. So we have several examples that are there. We are doing some things in healthcare space, we are doing in the technology space, we are doing in the retail e-commerce space. So that is really helping our clients really achieve the full potential of AI.
In some of the sessions and a lot of the conversations that I had with some of the very large companies, uh, the whole data readiness, right? Getting that upfront and getting that taken care of is going to help kind of define how successful your AI could possibly be. So that massive upfront effort that you need to clean, to consolidate and structure data before agentic AI can deliver value, and you have to get your team to do targeted cleanups, figure out what the priority use cases are, and really have a clear direction there, and then weaving in data annotation, labeling, all of that good stuff. I was just wondering if you kind of picked up the same from any of the conversations or sessions that you sat in on at Dreamforce, and any thoughts you can share about that.
No, absolutely. I think data in so my area is data, and I feel that data is the fuel for AI.
Mm.
That's always something that I go with. But what I saw at Dreamforce is we are seeing like a major restructuring in how organizations view their data. Like data is no longer an asset sitting in silos. It's the foundation of intelligence for AI. In our work across industries, as I mentioned, from tech to retail to healthcare, we see that companies moving fastest are those that invest in data services. So cleaning the data, labeling the data, enriching the data, governing their data, and making it AI ready. So there are like these several steps that need to happen before you can think about implementing AI solutions, because data is again the core of everything. The transformation is not just technological, it's organizational. So the market is rewarding clarity, and that's what we saw at Dreamforce. Those who are building the right data culture and operational discipline are the ones unlocking real value within what we are seeing in terms of this huge shift in the technology.
Just wondering what your any bold predictions for 2026. Do you kind of see the same? Any other things that you see in the area of AI?
So, if I have to say one or give one piece of advice to leaders of what I saw in Dreamforce is really to invest in readiness before speed. I think a lot of our enterprises are going for speed because I think they don't want to miss out on the bandwagon of AI and want to showcase something, but they are missing out on the point on getting their organizations ready. Uh, and without, like, you cannot move fast unless you have trusted data, you have clear governance, you have empowered people. AI adoption will stall completely. My recommendation was building a transformation roadmap. The first question that you asked, right? Have a proper transformation roadmap that connects data maturity, human capability, and the ethical standards enterprise wants to follow. That's what will differentiate who will lead from those who will follow. In the agentic enterprise, I feel that leadership is not just about how much AI you deploy, it's how responsibly and effectively you use it.
Mhm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's you hit nail on the head. Um, on that, I'm also subject of kind of ROI. There's an interesting stat that yeah, that came across my desk, and this is a Forrester stat. 85% of C-level leaders expect ROI within 3 years for AI to be considered successful. What are you seeing in terms of ROI out there for a defined business case amongst TP clients?
So, I think there is different variability of ROI across different industry segments. So at that level, first you have to look at the industry. Is it highly regulated, low regulation, and so on and so forth. Second is the systems. Are they legacy systems, new systems, etc. Third is the data that is available, and in what shape and form that data is available. When you have to look at all of those things together, yes, you can do a lot of pilots and see ROI in bits and pockets, right? But if you have to really implement AI across the organization, then it definitely is going to take 3 to 5 years in terms of getting the ROI that you think. The ROI should not only be in terms of measurable financial gains that are there, but in terms of improving the product, improving the processes, improving the operations, improving the experience of the customer, improving the entire experience with that company. And that is where I think TP is helping. TPI is coming in to say that, yes, you can implement certain things faster, but then that will not give you the gains that you need in the medium to long term.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautifully worded. Um, I know that we're running out of time here, but I did want to ask you one question. You are our trust and safety expert as well. Um, there's a lot of discussion about trust in AI, and that in whatever area you are, within Dreamforce, whatever session, a lot of conversations that comes up, and trust may be kind of a bigger term than what it is that we cover at TP. I just wanted to get your thoughts on all that discussion of trust. If you had any perspective on that, and any thoughts that you wanted to share.
I think we are at that early stage where all of these AI systems are learning, and they are getting better every single day. And a lot of the companies which have created these large language models, they are investing heavily. However, I still feel that there is a lot more to be done in the space of, ensuring that AI is not hallucinating, it's not creating any bias, it's not sharing information or giving information that it shouldn't share. It's ethically accurate, and so on and so forth, right? So I do feel that there is still scope for these AI companies to do more. And from our TP standpoint, from our trust and safety standpoint, we are helping some of these companies in not only training the AI but also looking at safety of AI. So we are looking at all of these issues that keeps cropping up. We help in sort of red teaming some of these issues so that even before it goes as a product launch to external customers, we are able to find those challenges and fix it at the core. um, but I still do feel that there is a lot more to be done here.
This conversation doesn't have to end just because Beatforce has ended. We love to talk to you a bit more about AI and what it is that you're doing.